So in my previous video, I was talking about the structure of the Canadian housing market, and I had a comment that said, well, why are you discouraging from buying a house? It's a good investment. That's what the comment was saying. And trust me, there's in no way I'm discouraging buying a house. In most ways, it is one of the best investments you can have. But there's some details that if you dive into it, sometimes it's not the best investment. Let's say if this house is paying per year $8,000 in taxes, well, how come is that a good investment? You have an $800 payment every month. That's more a liability to me versus an investment. So it's only an investment if it's paying you. How is this house paying you? It's possibly appreciating in value, but with the Canadian housing market being so overvalued due to government overreach, overregulation, and massive amount of speculation happening in Canadian housing market with people speculating the land value, the house value, it's just a matter of time before this balloon is gonna pop, because people are not gonna be able to afford this type of prices for too long, because our wages are not rising accordingly to the prices of these houses. So we're either gonna have to lower the house prices, or everybody's gonna end up renting from big corporations. And I think that's their plan, is to make us rent instead of own houses. Now, I'm not gonna go into that. Let's talk about the fact that what's the main problem that Canada has as far as what is causing this overvaluation in housing. I don't think it's demand. There is a lot of demand, but we can meet that demand by building. We can meet that. 2x4s are not that expensive. This material is not the main cost of the house. Labor is not the main cost either. I'm a contractor. I know the labor costs. I know the cost that the wage that I am being paid right now to work in Canada is the same wage that people were getting paid in 1990s to do the same work that I'm doing right now. So obviously my wage hasn't even doubled. So that's not the main cost in the housing price. And I will tell you what the main cost is in the housing price in Canada. And the main cost is government overregulation. Government is hampering free market at every level in Canada. In Canada, what we have is basically government that wants to control every level, from every level of the housing build, from buying the land to what color your house will be, the architectural style, to how many rooms you will have, and to who you will rent that house to. At every level, government controls everything in Canada. This is why housing is so expensive, is due to government overreach and overregulation. The other reason is we have massive speculation happening in Canadian housing market, with investors and builders having better access to buying this land than individual Canadians, because again, the Canadian government favors speculators, because Canadian government is basically what I would say it's a crony capitalistic system where they favor speculation, they favor the rich, because they just want the money. They want to get the money, they don't want to deal with anybody else. If you end up as an individual buying this lot, let's say in an affordable city in Canada, Calgary, Saskatoon, I'm not talking about Toronto or Vancouver, that's just not affordable anymore. If you end up buying this lot as an individual, not a builder, because to be a builder you will have to go through many hurdles and licensing requirements, and that has its own hurdles to become. But as an individual, you will be facing so much red tape to be able to call a contractor and bring the contractor and put a foundation here and frame a house like that. By the time you will even get to this point, trust me, you're most likely might end up giving up due to red tape. They've made the process so convoluted. It's such a maze that most people that are not in this trade Most people that are not familiar with this, they're not even gonna know where to call, how to do this. Now, yes, I get it. That's why you pay a builder to come and do this. But what if you're an individual and you want to do that? Why is the government making it so hard for individuals to build their own homes? Why are they making so many permit requirements, so many development requirements for somebody to build their own house? Their reason is it's your safety. Well, we know that's a bunch of bullshit. COVID was done for our safety as well, and the lockdowns were for our safety as well. So everything this government does, their answer is it's done for you, for your safety. It's the opposite. It's not done for you, it's not done for your safety. It's done to mainly keep the government crony capitalistic system going. It's done mainly so the government can get paid, can get its cut, and they don't even want to deal with individual people. They just want to deal with some corporation that comes in there, buys all this land in blocks. They don't even want to sell it per lot because it's too much work now for them. They don't even want to put that time into it. They just want to sell the whole block to a corporation and get their money from the corporation and let the corporation deal with the building process. And they just want the consumer to go to the bank, get massive amount of mortgages and get into debt slavery for 25, 30 years and buy these houses at overvalued prices. That's why at every level of the process, they hamper the individual from being able to go on their own, buy a house, buy land such as this, and build a house. At every level, the government has made red tape, permit requirements, this type of requirement, that type of requirement, in order for individuals to just be discouraged and just go buy from a speculator mostly. I have nothing against builders. I have myself working with a lot of good builders. This is not against builders or contractors. We all are in the same boat. This is just to explain the problem in Canadian housing market in general. And I would say government overregulation is in everyday life in Canada, but specifically housing is extremely heavily regulated, where it favors certain big corporations and banks, and individuals and regular people are basically locked out of the process, and they only have access to the process at a point of either renting or being a debt slave to these corporate entities.